Hello and welcome back, and in this video we're going to be talking about localizing dates into different regions. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go to our main.storyboard. Once again, we're going to drop a label, and in this label we're going to constrain it about 20 points from top, 20 from leading, and 20 from trailing, and going to add those constraints. Now let's go ahead and set some of the basic things. For example, center and 0 lines. Okay, so now we're gonna go to our view controller and create another IP outlet for date label. There we go. All right, and we're gonna create a new function here, and this function is going to be our date. So func date formatting. All right, and we're gonna call that. Like so. All right, so now we're gonna take a look how we can actually format dates into a local format, locally supported, locally what that region supports. Because if you look at, like, how US standard has, where when you type your date, your month comes first, then your days comes second, and your years comes last. Now in other regions of the world, this is actually different, and sometimes it's date that comes first, and sometimes it's year that comes first. So dates, months, and years sometimes, and sometimes it's like year first and then month and the date, however it is. Okay, so we can actually support all that with some simple adapting to some simple standards. Now the other thing is time is also represented differently around the world. So majority of or many of the countries in Europe actually honors 24 hours time. So they have 13 o'clock, 14 o'clock, and stuff like that, versus in United States and Canada, I think some parts of Mexico as well, or sometimes some parts of South America, where we run off of 12-hour clock. So we have AM and PM and all those things. So in order to support all those different variations, you can either choose to go and learn about all those and include it into your app, or you can adhere to some simple formatting rules and then use some basic iOS provided classes and let iOS and Apple worry about all those different formats. So we're gonna take a look, and we're gonna choose the shorter approach, and I'm gonna take Apple's help for this. Okay, so we're gonna simply create, first of all, we have something called date formatter. If you have not used it already, which I doubt, if you've been developing for iOS for a long time, you might have used it for sure. So date formatter is the class, and basically this provides access to locale. So you can just say locale, and you can set the locale. So you can say locale, and you can say locale from identifier. Now in order to get the locale from the current locale, you can use something called bundle. That's your local bundle, and you can say bundle.main, your main bundle, and get its preferred localizations. And this is going to be the list of localizations that your phone supports, your app phones, your phone where the app is installed supports, and you get to get the first one out of that. So it's first. Okay, so this is going to give you the locale, and first locale is basically the main locale that's been set, the primary language that's been set to. So let's say if your phone supports Hindi as a primary, but then English and French as two of the others, and your app does not have a conversion for Hindi, then it's going to fall back on English and French. So it's going to show the content in English, of like, depending upon whichever comes first, or it's gonna come basically show French first if that's actually the first preference that you have actually set. Okay, and in your in your generals, in your settings, in your generals, local location and region, language and region section is where you can see your preferred locales. So if you go in your simulator and if you look at your general language and region, these are the preferred language orders. So you have English, Hindi, and English actually, and you can add different languages. So this is what this is going to do is this thing is going to present you this list, and whichever is the first one is basically the one that you have set as your iPhone language. Okay, so that's what it's going to pick up. Right, so you're gonna get the locale from there, and then we're gonna say date formatter dot date style to be long. Okay, just for example, so we can see like how the long date looks like. Now you can have date formatter dot time style, and you can define the time style. We're gonna use medium, and then we're gonna get today's date. So we're gonna use once again NS localized string, and we're gonna use an advanced version of string formatting. This is called dynamic string. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into our localized string, and you're gonna create a new key, and this new key is going to be today's date is, and this is going to be parameterized. So we're gonna say %at. Okay, and we're gonna use this as our key and this as a value as well. So is equal to this. Okay, now let's go ahead and copy this and paste it everywhere else, so we don't forget that we have this key that's being set. And look at that. So I had to create English because I was showing same thing as English and Hindi, but I guess like I might be wrong actually. You know what, let's try it one more time. English, we're gonna remove that, and let's take a look. So Hindi is okay, French is okay, and English is, see, look at that. So it does not have the English version. English version is gone. So I don't know like what Xcode is doing, but it's actually sort of like messing this thing. So okay, so let's leave it like that. So we're gonna only select these three. We're not gonna select the base one. Okay, so that might be the Xcode thing actually. So you might see a different behavior. Maybe my Xcode version is like there's some issue in there. Anyways, so we're gonna use that that key. So let's go ahead and copy that key right here from our localizable string file, and the comment is going to be here. Here the parameter is today's date. Okay, so parameter is today's date. This is just for our translator to understand what it is. Our Google Translator is really good, so you can understand that. I'm just kidding. So let's go ahead and take a look at date label, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna say string dot localized string with format. Okay, and the format is gonna come from today date. So this is the format. So let's name it better.
Sorry,
and
could you say it again, please?
all right, I'm sorry about that. That was Siri. Today's date format, and we're gonna name this today's date format. Okay, and the argument list is going to be something that you're expecting in the parameter list. So we're gonna use date like that. Okay, so this is going to be the argument that's going to be supplied, but we cannot supply just the date because it's expecting a string. So we're going to use our date formatter that we created, and we're going to say get us a string from this date. Now what this is going to do is this is going to look at the locale that we're talking about. So our string is already localized using this string key. We're going to do it in a minute. And then your local format for the date is for the date and the time is handled by the date formatter. So it's going to basically take care, this whole thing is going to take care of translating your entire date into a local version. So let's go ahead and take this, and I already have Hindi translation for these things. So let me actually paste that. So I'm gonna go to Hindi version, and I'm gonna say it's gonna say this, and oh, there was a okay. So we don't need the colon thing. Okay, and then your French version is going to have this string, and you can basically create your own. I already have these, so that's what I'm going to use. All right, and English one is going to be the same. All right, so there we go. We are set for that. And now all we need to do is basically run our app. So let's run our app in French because that's already selected. And we have some problem. Okay, so okay, so this file, make sure you remember to put a semicolon, because semicolon is required for your localizable.string file. So that was the issue. And okay, so we have another unexpected. Okay, so fatal error, unexpected, value found nil. Okay, so where did we find nil? We have this, and I guess we connected our outlets. So let's take a look if our outlets are connected. So go ahead and select this, and our date label is not connected. So let's connect our date label. That was the nil problem. Okay, so there we go. So we have our date correctly converted, and the text is showing up. Okay, let's go ahead and change this to different. Let's change it to Hindi, and you can see that version. There we go. And as you can see, that we have date first, and the month and the year. If you speak that language, you're gonna understand that. And but let's take a look at English, and you're gonna notice that it's actually the month first, date second, and the year. And we have AM PM. Okay, so that's how different changes to the date take effect. Just by using date formatter, you can actually avoid all the complications and let it handle all the location and region related changes into your app. Okay, so that is it for this video, and in the next video, let's go ahead and take a look what we're gonna be talking about. So we're gonna be talking about custom date formatter. So there's another date format that we need to look at, where we're gonna provide our own like, you know, desire to present, like, you know, this is what we need to present as date. For example, short month, short month, date and year format, and let it localize, basically create a new localized version for that. So we're going to take a look at another variation of date formatting in the next video. So all right, so this is it for this video. Thanks again for watching.